Hi, I'm Dr. Perry Solomon, and this is Pamela Hadfield, and we're here to talk to you today about medical cannabis in New York State. Who is qualified, what you need to do, and what happens after you're seen by one of our doctors or nurses and you go for your certification from the state.
And between the two of us, we've done all of the research to prepare answers to the questions we think you may have to prepare you for your journey into medical cannabis. So Dr. Solomon, what is the list of medical conditions that allows a patient to qualify for a medical cannabis certification in New York State?
Right now, New York State has 11 defined conditions, and if you don't mind, I'll just read them to you. It's cancer, positive HIV status or AIDS syndrome, amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, ALS or Lou Gehrig's disease, Parkinson's disease, multiple sclerosis, damage to the nervous tissue of the spinal cord with objective neurological indications or intractable spasticity, epilepsy, inflammatory bowel disease or IBS, neuropathies, Huntington's disease, and the last one that they just added was chronic or severe pain.
And so chronic pain, that seems so subjective. What exactly does that mean?
Well, it is very subjective, but the state actually has a definition, and that is it's any severe debilitating pain that the practitioner determines degrades health and functional capability.
I've had severe migraines for years, and they come and go, but to me that's actually chronic pain. And I've tried all sorts of different medications and nothing works. So would I qualify for a medical cannabis certification in New York State?
Well, it's one of the indications that New York State says, yes, that you are to be able to be certified. It's a failed medical condition. So in other words, you've been treated with the medication and it's failed, or it works intermittently. And it's something that you'll be able to be certified because you want to have something that an alternative to be able to try. The medication you're on doesn't work. You should try something else.
Okay, but what about something like lower back pain?
Well, it's the same indications. In other words, you've been given opioids, for example, for chronic back pain. You can have intolerable side effects from those, and that would be another indication for the chronic pain.
So Dr. Solomon, let's talk about the actual application process a patient goes through in order to get their medical cannabis certification through the state of New York on HelloMD.com.
Well, it's a two-step process. The first one is the patient goes on HelloMD.com and is able to see one of our physicians or nurse practitioners using remote access. Are able to look in the camera and see the physician speaking with them. During that time, the physician or nurse practitioner does the consultation, and if the patient has one of the medical conditions that the state of New York finds acceptable, they're able to be issued the certification from New York State.
That's great. And so with that certification comes your certification number. Mm-hmm. And this is an actual document. And you're given the PDF, and you then complete the process by going to the government site and applying for your card there. Once that's done, it takes 3 to 5 days, and then the state of New York will send you your medical cannabis card.
Correct. And you take that cannabis card along with the certification that you've been issued to the dispensary. And using those two pieces of information, you're able to purchase cannabis at the dispensary.
And we've made this a fairly seamless process.
It's all online, and we're able to do it very easily. Now the patient has their card from New York State. They have their certification letter from the state as well that HelloMD has sent them. They walk to a pharmacy. Now what happens?
That's a great question. So you want to take your letter, your certification letter, as well as your card to the dispensary, and that's going to allow you to actually enter into the dispensary. And the letter is interesting because it's going to be given to the pharmacist, and on it you're going to see that you're going to be given recommended forms of administration, whether that be a tincture, a capsule, or a vape cartridge. And those are the 3 different types of products you can get in New York State. So it's going to tell you what types of administration you can purchase, as well as the different level of dosages, whether that be high CBD, low THC, high THC, low CBD. And if you're wondering what CBD and THC is, you can go onto HelloMD.com and do a ton of research through our articles and our answers. So once you have that information, you give that to the pharmacist.
And then the pharmacist goes over what products that they have for sale in that specific dispensary in the concentrations of the THC and CBD that the doctor or nurse has recommended.
So the 3 types of products you're going to find in a New York dispensary are oil capsules, tinctures, and vape pens and cartridges. And so let's start with the first one.
Okay.
An oil capsule is just like a regular capsule that you might swallow, but the onset of taking an oil capsule might be around, could be 1 to 2 hours, but you'll feel the effects from anywhere from 4 to 6 hours because it's metabolized by your liver. Mm-hmm. So that's a very easy method of administration, especially for people that aren't used to taking cannabis. The second form is a tincture, and a tincture is like what what you would think
From
it
a
is.
bottle, right?
It's a little bottle, and you take it out, and there's a dropper, and you administer it sublingually under your tongue. And the onset of that it's pretty quick. It can happen anywhere from 15 minutes to a half an hour. And the third one is called a vape pen and an oil cartridge. It's a nice, discreet method. It doesn't smell like it would with normally smoking flower, and the effects are felt almost immediately.
And then it has its own battery. All these things.
So if you'd like to learn more about vape cartridges or anything else, you can go onto HelloMD, you can look up our articles or look on our answers and do a search, and you'll find a lot of information. But those are the 3 types of products that you can find today. But there are some products that aren't available.
Right, and so flower, in other words, the buds and things that you can smoke in a joint and things that you put in a different type of a device, those flowers are not available
Exactly.
at all, as well as edibles.
Exactly. So edibles and flower you cannot get in New York State at this time. So Dr. Solomon, when I go in for my consultation, do I actually need to provide medical records to my doctor or nurse practitioner?
If you had them, it would be helpful, but it's not necessary to show those during your consultation with the nurse or the physician.
So Dr. Solomon, when I go for my consultation to get my medical cannabis certification in the state of New York, is insurance going to find out about this?
Well, there's 2 parts. The first consultation that you have with your physician or nurse practitioner is completely protected under HIPAA, which is the Health Information Portability and Accountability Act. So that in and of itself is completely private. And the insurance company, not only won't they pay for your consultation, but they will also never find out about the fact that you have your approval letter from the state.
So privacy is something I actually don't really need to be concerned about.
Unless you tell anybody other than your physician or the dispensary, no one will find out.
All right, well, we've covered a lot of ground very quickly, but we feel like you may have enough to get started on your journey. If you'd like more information, you can go to HelloMD.com. You'll find videos, articles, Q&A, all sorts of stuff. Thank you so much for watching.